here to show you. So there's an MRE. That's a meal ready to eat. Here's my hatchet. And let's start looking in there. You can also use these drop cloths for blankets. If you don't have enough blankets, you can use them for pillows, things like that. So right off the bat, I have a couple carabiners here. I keep them on my zipper pulls on some of them. Carabiners, not that I would be climbing or anything, but more along the lines of if I need to strap something down or clip into this and tie the dog up or something like that. So I have a few carabiners. This is my wool blanket. That's what I'm going to be sleeping on tonight. These are a couple military type blankets. Those are good to have. I have my machete. This is nice if you're going to be cutting small twigs, branches, stuff like that. Stuff that's in the way, and that's basically what I keep in the top. There's a couple more things over there. I'll grab them real quick and I'll show you. Okay, so one of them is my cooking equipment. I'll break this down in a minute and show you what's in there. And this portion is the top of the pack that had the that can be doubled as a fanny pack. I'll break into that too and I'll show you what's in there. I have a pair of gloves. Gloves are always good to have, especially if you're going to be working with wood or things that might have sap on them or hot things. This is an extra pack that I leave inside the pack, and inside of this I generally carry my food, and I'll break this open in a minute. So I'm going to set these items up here in the front, the ones that I'm going to show you here in a minute. I'm going to set them out of the way. Okay, down here I have another carabiner. It goes with the carabiners. Let me move my blankets. I think I'm going to need a little more space here to show you. So let me move my blankets down there. The bottom portion of the pack, on the side pocket I have an emergency blanket. On the other side pocket I have a little bit of toilet paper. I have a big large trash bag. I have a couple little bags, little Walmart bags. Now these large trash bags are excellent. They have so many uses. You can pack them down with leaves and make a pillow out of them. You can pack them with leaves and make like an insulative barrier that you can sleep on. You can put them on as a raincoat. You can use them as shelter. There's just tons and tons of uses. Water storage. You know, if you got to go to the creek and come back and you have some water, you need a place to carry it. This trash bag does a great job. You can also use it to purify water. You can actually boil water inside of this trash bag, and I'll show that in a video. Probably not this video, but I will do that sometime. So there's a few bags. This is fuel. I'll show you that in a minute. That goes with the cooking stuff. This is blazing tape in case I need to blaze a trail through. Maybe I got some friends or I need to leave some SOS notes or something like that. This is excellent. I'll talk a little more about blazing in a future video. Here's a wooden spoon. This goes with my cooking stuff. I'll talk about that a little more. Parachute cord. There's one little thing of paracord. Here's another thing of paracord. Here's some more paracord, 550 cord. Here's a small piece of tubular webbing. I think this is 7/8, or excuse me, what is it, 5/8 webbing or something like that. Tubular webbing. This is about, I don't know, 6 feet maybe. This is good if you need to tie something down or pull something, or it's just good to have around. And this is a little bit of 650 cord, a little thicker, a little heavier duty than 550. Just about 6 or 7 feet of that. I carry a stainless steel cup and a stainless steel water bottle. Those can also kind of go into the cooking department a little bit. Water purification, this is my water filter. That's the MSR Waterworks. This is 11 mil static rope, and that's good. I have about 30 or 40 feet of that. This is 1-inch tubular webbing and blaze orange because it's very bright, and 3 carabiners. This can be used to make a Swiss seat. If you have to rappel, you have to go rescue somebody, you can use the webbing to tow some car or pull somebody out of the ditch or something like that. That's really good to have. More trash bags. I have a couple trash bags here. So again, trash bags, they have tons of uses. They're very good to have. So that's basically it, what's in the pack, except for these 2 side pockets. These side pockets, I keep Nalgene bottles in there with water. This other side pocket full of water. And there's my pack. Move that out of the way. Now let's take a look inside inside this bag. This is the top portion of the pack. This is where I keep a lot of my stuff that I might need real quick. First thing that I see is a couple of rags. Okay, these can be used for water filtration. You can use them to start fire. You can use them for picking up hot things, cooking, cleaning, all kinds of uses for those. Here's another emergency blanket. Those are cheap and they do a lot for you. I have a Petzl Tika XP2 headlamp. This thing does a great job. It has 3 modes, high, medium, low, and then flashing. And it also has a red LED. There's one headlamp. I love having headlamps. This is acetaminophen in case you get a headache or something like that. Hey, quit digging there. You're throwing dirt all up in my tent. Go out of there. Get on out of there. Go somewhere else. You don't need to dig right there in front. I know you want to be the star of the show, but you're going to have to quit. Okay, this is athletic tape. And this can be used for taping things, fixing the tarp. You could use it for bandaging, all kinds of stuff. Athletic tape. You saw that I grabbed a saw blade. This is a standard Sawzall blade. And I have a tool. It's just a hand tool. What this hand tool does is it allows you to use the Sawzall blade. You can cut all kinds of branches and trees and stuff like that. It's a good tool to have. I put it down with my cutting tools. This is a knife sharpener. Basically, you take the blade of your knife and you run this across like so. So if you're doing a lot of cutting that's dulling your knife, you can give it a little bit of a sharpen in the field. And it's light and it works pretty good. In here I have a compass with an adjustable bezel ring so I can find my bearings. It also has a what do they call that? Magnification lens on it, so I can use this to start fires if I need to. This is also a whistle, has a compass on it, and it also has a magnification lens that pops out, it slides out through the side here. And you can also use that magnification lens to make fire. It has a compass on it. It's kind of a cool little tool to have. Right here I have some hand sanitizer. This is nice because it could be used for fuel to start fires. I mean, you put a couple drops on the fire and it'll help you get the fire going. You can also use it if you have a bug bite. It'll take the mosquito bite itch away. In this little pouch I have another headlamp. Another Tika XP. It's a good headlamp. I keep looking behind me because I hear a vehicle driving around somewhere. It's kind of funny that somebody would be out here because I'm like 35 miles from town. So another headlamp. And you might be sitting there wondering, why does this dude carry so many headlamps? This is the Princeton Tech EOS. This is an excellent headlamp, very bright. You know, you're probably, like I said, you're probably sitting there saying, wow, this dude already pulled out 3 headlamps. What's he doing? You know, why does he need 3 headlamps? Well, let me explain that briefly. I mean, I've been in the dark before when I was in the military, and I kind of vowed that I'll never do that again. I don't like dark places. I don't like being stuck in the dark. I did that for quite a while, and I just decided that I'm not going to do that no more. So I like to carry plenty of light. This is my fire kit. I'll break this down a little more in a second. Here's my magnesium spork, and it has a P38 can opener on the bottom of it. Put that over there. This is my Coleman Max. It's a little lantern. It's pretty bright too. Does a good job. So that'll go with my lighting. Right here I have a magnet with a couple of paper clips, and there's a little bit of snare wire that's all stuck together. I like to use the paper clips, and I try to keep them magnetized because if for some reason I have a compass failure and there's no light in the sky to use the solar method to find my bearings, I can make a compass out of these materials. Of course I need some water and some other things, but that's really about it. I have another little knife here. Right here I have my Gerber multi-tool. I have a little container full of 209 shotgun primers, and you're probably wondering about that. You're probably saying, why does he carry? Because there's about 40 primers in here. You're probably wondering, why is he carrying shotgun primers? You know, if he's out of ammo, he's out of ammo. Well, I carry those in my bug out bag because sometimes when I go somewhere, I'm in the car, and I always keep a pound of gunpowder, black powder in the car. So if I get somewhere, it's easier for me, size-wise, to carry 40 little primers in this little container than it is to carry 40 shotgun shells. So I can reload in the field if I have to. I'm talking strictly survival situation. In here I have a little blue LED light. Nothing too crazy. And there's a little pocket in here. And again, can you tell me what that is? It's a Petzl headlamp. That's an emergency, what they call an E-light. And why do I like headlamps so much? I like headlamps because I can put them on and I can be hands-free to work on whatever I need to work on. So that's basically everything that's in this pouch, except for the fire kit. Let's talk about this. Outside of my fire kit, obviously you can tell I keep everything rolled up in a rag, because I like having plenty of rags. Okay, so you open it up, first thing you see is another rag and some fire starting materials. I have 1 cube of wet fire. Wet fire works really good if it's raining. I have a magnesium fire starter and a very cheap, inexpensive $1 Walmart knife. So that's another method of starting a fire. I have the UST Sparky. This is basically a ferro rod. Produces a good little spark. Around my neck, I carry a regular ferro rod, and this one's 5/16, I believe. It's a good one. And as you can tell, all of this stuff has a little bit of paracord around it. I have this little film canister, and I have a bunch of string. This is cotton string, cotton yarn, 100% cotton. I have some snare wire inside here, and then I have some dry cotton balls, about 3 or 4 cotton balls stuffed in here. Now you're probably wondering, why does he carry cotton string? What's the purpose of the cotton string? Well, what's the purpose of that snare wire? You only had about 5 feet of it there. Well, the snare wire and the cotton string, this is basically my kit that I would use to make some sort of lamp or some sort of oil candle. Okay, so that's also what's in there. I have another film canister, and what's inside here is just simple dryer lint. Dryer lint is another good tinder to use to start a fire. These film canisters work great for storing this kind of stuff. Here's another film canister, and inside of this I have a piece of cotton material that's embedded with paraffin wax. I could use that for a wick, I could use that for a fire starter. I have a cotton ball that's embedded with wax, and then I have another cotton ball that's embedded with wax. And these are for if I need to start a fire and I'm having trouble getting that flame going and I need something sustained, you know, maybe if there's some rain or something like that, and I need something that's going to continue to burn longer than a standard cotton ball would. So that's what I keep in there. Right here I have one section of 4/0 steel wool. This is excellent fire starter. I have an Altoids tin. This tin has a few items: some paper, a trash bag, some cotton material, and a cotton ball fell out of that. So cotton material, this is good if I need to make some char cloth. Speaking of char cloth, I have many layers of char cloth in here. I have a small button compass. This is a liquid filled compass. I have a push pin. I'll explain that in a minute. Well, let me just go ahead and tell you. Push pin is what I use to make the jets on the soda pop can stoves. So if I had any Coke cans, I could use that push pin to puncture the holes to make the jets to make a stove. This is a small piece of wire, baling wire. I have a paper clip in here, and I have another small paper clip. And these can be used for wick holders. They can be used to make compasses and things like that. And the container itself, I have a hole in it so I can put, you can tell that the color is off. I can put cotton material in this container, throw it in the fire, and let the smoke come out, and this will help me make more char cloth. Because when it comes to char cloth, if you don't have it, you're not gonna have it unless you have fire. You have to have fire to get char cloth. So I guess the big question is, which one comes first, the fire or the char cloth? In my opinion, the char cloth does. Because without it, you may not have a fire unless you have another means of making that fire. So as you can see, I keep everything pretty well organized. But that's what's in that Altoids tin. This paper is good if you need to make a primitive compass, because you can use that snare wire to float on that paper. So that's what's inside that Altoids tin. That's my fire start and stuff. Fold this rag up. This is kind of a dirty rag. This is the one that I use generally for handling pots and hot stuff. Now here I have one of my tinder bundle packs that I make. And I'm not going to tear this thing open. If you want to see what's inside this, please check out my video where I describe what's inside of these, my tinder bundles. It's basically inside of there, there's some cotton string, there's some cloth, you know, cotton cloth for making char cloth, there's some cotton balls, dryer lint, things of that nature. There might be some snare wire in there. So that's what's in that kit. So that's basically everything out of my pack. Let me move forward to the next item. that would be my cooking kit, my cooking supply stuff. I'm going to move the camera and get a better angle. Okay, so in my cooking kit I have several items. I'm getting back here so I can lay the items out in front of me. First thing is my wooden spoon. See that? I have a wooden spoon. And this is my cooking kit. First thing that you see is my mayo. Some of you might not understand what this is. This is basically Kool-Aid. It's a liquid form of Kool-Aid you put in water and it makes it fruit punch. There's all kinds of flavors you can get. On the bottom side I have some ramen noodles, and yeah, they get a little crunched up, but you know, when you're hungry and you're starving to death, you're not going to care if they're crunched up or not. You're going to eat them. Okay, looks like a spoon fell out. So I got my mayo, got my spoon, got my wooden spoon. This is my cook set. This is the MSR Black Light. Take the lid off, you see some more ramen. You see some Sasquatch. These are basically Slim Jims. A couple of those. There's a Slim Jim and a couple Sasquatch. These are good. They're good to add protein. What I like to do is if I cook up some ramen, I'll cut some sections of these and I'll throw them in the ramen. It gives me a little bit of meat, a little bit of sustained calories. I have a little sponge here that if I wet it I can clean my pans. There's a lighter. Lighter's always good to have if you're cooking. In here, this is my stove. This is my Techno Trail made by Primus. Now, generally speaking, I don't use this that much. The only time I would really use this is if I didn't have a fire for some reason. And I carry one canister of fuel for that stove. There's also another mini lighter in here. And that's about it for cooking stuff. This is a pot support that lets you hold the pots. I have some regular napkins, McDonald's or wherever I was eating. And I have my first pot. This is my small pot. Inside I have a couple little towels. And then I have my large pot and my frying pan. And these are just, I put these inside there. They came with the pans, and it's basically just to separate them so they don't scratch each other up. So they have a lid. The lid will fit on all three of them. Okay, the lid fits everything. And this is the piece that I use to hold them when they're hot, to get them off the fire or whatever. That's what that piece is for. So there's another lighter, stove, some Sasquatch bars, plenty of cooking stuff. Plenty of fire making stuff, plenty of cordage, plenty of cutting tools, plenty of food, and there's even more food in that bag there. I'll pull that out and I'll show you what I have there. So here's a couple lighters. Let's take a look at this bag. Let's see what we have here. Small piece of paracord. More water. Now you're looking at those 3 Nalgene bottles. You got 2 white ones and a black one, if you will. The white ones are the ones that I put the water in that's already been purified, and the black one would be the one that I would go get the water in. So I would know very quickly just by looking at the color of the bottles if it's purified water or if it's water from the tap or from the stream or whatever. So that's why I chose 2 white and 1 black. So let me pull out the food, show you what kind of food. So there's nothing really left in there. There's the food. I keep the food in a Walmart bag. that's first thing you see is a little candy. Skittles, Payday. And then I had some other little Skittles in there. Now candy to me is important because when you're in a survival situation, you grab your bug out bag and you head out. That's good to have because it helps boost your morale up a little bit. It kind of puts you in a happy mood. You got something sweet in your mouth. This is a little pack that has some sugar, salt, pepper, coffee. There's some creamer in there just for your morning cup of coffee. This is these Mountain House. This one happens to be lasagna. These are pretty good little meals. And this one's spaghetti with meat sauce. I have a few packages of Lipton tea, and I have a small container of sugar for that tea. So I got like, what, 8 tea bags or something like that. A couple more trash bags, just straight Walmart bags. They could, you know, again, these could be used for all kinds of things. Obviously, hauling out our trash, that's one of them. So you've got to have plenty of bags. So there's those. There's another spoon. Now, these are pasta sides. I like these. This one's chipotle. That one makes some noodles. Shrimp scampi. Parmesan noodles. You've got your Alfredo noodles. Those are all excellent. They're easy to cook and they give you plenty of energy. They're really good to have. And last but not least, I have a couple things of oysters in cottonseed oil and a few packages of oatmeal. And that leaves me with one more trash bag. So you might be wondering why does he have oysters in cottonseed oil? How come he doesn't get something in water? Well, the cottonseed oil is nice because I can use it, the oil itself, with some of this wicking material. You know, these, I can make a wick, and I could use the oil from there to make a nice little lamp, little lantern for the nighttime. It's not a real bright lantern, but it does work in a pinch. So there you have it. There's everything that I keep in my pack for my bug out situation. I have another on the handle here. I don't know if you can see. I have another little push LED light. There's another P38 can opener, and in this top section, if I remember correctly, I have another headlamp. This is a Rayovac, and this one really impresses me. It's got 5 LEDs, 4 of them are white and 1 of them's red, and it's basically 2 modes. It's one red LED or all 4 bright white ones. And the reason it impresses me so much is because I paid $5.88 for it. You know, you look at these Petzls and Princeton Tech and all those are $30, $40, $50 a piece. So for $5.88 at Walmart, this thing does just as good, and I'm really happy with it. It's bright, and you know, I carry a lot of light, I admit. It's probably a big overkill, but like I said earlier, I don't ever want to be left in the dark again. Okay, here's just a closer view of the items that I have in my pack. It's a lot of stuff to carry. It's not really that heavy, but it's good to have all of it. You know, that includes the tarp that we use to make our shelter too. So, plenty of supplies. And I keep this bag packed. That way if I ever need to bug out, it's got everything I need to keep me alive for a few days. I almost forgot, there's one more item. And I generally keep it, it's not down, okay, wait a minute. No. Ah, there it is. I keep a small grid that I can use to set up over a fire to put my pans on to cook. So yeah, last but not least, a small grid. And of course the knife that I'm carrying on my hip. So that now is officially all of the items. Had so much stuff I kind of forgot.